Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're literally putting you in the traveler's shoes to experience a grueling, absolutely awe-inspiring, full-day trek up Tianmen Mountain in Zhangjiajie, China. We are going to break down exactly what it takes to navigate this monumental terrain. We'll be looking at the journey itself, the mind-blowing infrastructure, and the sheer physical stamina you need to conquer it. So if you've ever wondered what it feels like to scale a peak of this magnitude, well, you're definitely in the right place.
Okay, let's dive right in. What does it actually take to walk to heaven? Because locals believe this mountain is the literal gateway to heaven. This isn't just your average Sunday hike. It is a massive test of physical endurance. We're talking about navigating straight through the clouds, scaling dizzying cliff faces, and using some of the most extreme mountain infrastructure on the planet. It really begs the question, how much effort are you willing to put in for the ultimate view?
All right, Section 1, the path to heaven.
Every epic journey has a starting line, right? And timing is literally everything when you're tackling one of the most famous mountains in the world. Our ascent kicks off chronologically at 10 a.m., capitalizing on a post-holiday lull to hopefully dodge those massive tourist crowds. But to even reach the base of the mountain's iconic cave, you have to survive what's basically a multimodal obstacle course. First up, a dizzying, and I mean dizzying, 30 to 40-minute cable car ride suspended way up in the air. But that's just step one. You follow that up by cramming into a van for a tense ride up a deeply winding road. And then, finally, you're faced with a steep, physically demanding stair climb. The whole sequence tests your nerves before the real ascent even begins.
Now, before you ascend any further, there is a serious administrative hurdle to clear. Mountain authorities here do not mess around. There's a total, uncompromising drone ban in effect. And the penalty? It's not just a slap on the wrist or a fine. You actually have to sign an agreement acknowledging the risk of jail time. So yeah, skip the aerial photography unless you want a very different kind of extended stay. Alongside dodging drone jail, you're also briefed on strict footwear protocols, specifically mandatory shoe covers. And keep those in mind because they're going to become absolutely crucial later on.
So after that exhausting initial climb and the rule signing, you stand at the base and look up. You're looking at Tianmen, which translates directly to Heaven's Gate or Edge of Heaven. And wow, it absolutely lives up to the name. You're greeted by this colossal cave naturally carved right into the cliffside. There's mist, there are waterfalls cascading directly from the towering rock edge high above you. It's one of those surreal, breathtaking moments where the sheer scale of nature just makes you feel profoundly small.
Moving on to Section 2, climbing inside the mountain.
Reaching that towering cave is really just the warm-up. The real shock comes when you realize the path to the summit doesn't go around the peak. No, it goes directly through the solid rock itself. To pull this off, engineers built an exhausting, continuous system of 7 giant escalators entirely inside the mountain's core. I mean, just think about that for a second. You are riding mechanical escalators carved through solid stone, literally boring your way up to the peak. It's such a bizarre, extraordinary mix of raw nature and heavy machinery.
And surprisingly, riding 7 consecutive escalators is actually pretty physically draining. As this quote perfectly captures, it's technology at its peak. You just keep going up, and up. You kind of lose count along the way, wondering when you'll finally see the sky again. It's a total mind-bender and a massive testament to the staggering scale of the infrastructure that the Chinese tourism industry has embedded into this natural wonder.
Right, onto Section 3, the glass walking bridge. Coming out of those endless escalators, you're not met with some barren, rocky peak, but a lush, sprawling forest sitting right on top of the mountain. Fully exploring it requires a 5 to 6 hour walk, and navigating it means traversing these terrifying glass walkways that cling right to the sheer cliff face. Now remember those meditory cloth shoe covers you learned about at the base? This is where they come into play. It's a brilliantly simple, low-tech solution to maintain a high-tech attraction. By preventing rocky shoes from scratching the surface, they keep the glass pristine and perfectly transparent so you get a crystal clear view of the dizzying plunge directly beneath your feet. And honestly, this whole setup brilliantly illustrates a much broader economic strategy. Just look at the infrastructure up there. Immaculate rest halls, cliffside food stalls, bathrooms, and of course those mountain core escalators and glass walkways. The playbook here is clear. Pour massive upfront capital into building top-tier world-class infrastructure in the most remote high-altitude locations imaginable. By providing absolute convenience, they basically guarantee enormous streams of future long-term tourism revenue. It is an aggressive but highly effective way to monetize natural wonders.
Section 4, the Mountaintop Temple. Most tourists, they snap a few selfies at the cave or the first-class bridge and call it a day. But if you decide to push forward on a rigorous 3-hour trek, often hiking right through the rain and mist, it leads you away from those crowds to a deeply secluded spiritual sanctuary. And despite how extremely isolated this mountaintop trail is, you might be surprised by who you cross paths with. Running into a tourist from Peru, marveling at the landscape with a joyful muy bonito, really proves the universal draw of this place. It's a great reminder that people from literally all over the globe are willing to endure the physical toll just to witness the edge of heaven. After walking a total of 6 hours round trip up on the mountaintop, the ultimate reward is the tranquil temple of heaven. It is this profoundly quiet space featuring a Buddha statue and a traditional swastika, which is an ancient Buddhist symbol of spirituality. According to local belief, making the effort to visit this specific, hard-to-reach sanctuary guarantees the soul's passage to heaven. It gives you this rare, peaceful moment that is totally free from the swarming tourist crowds buzzing away down below. Finally, Section 5, Nightfall and Reflections.
As the sprawling mountaintop loop finally concludes and you get a stunning 360-degree view of the winding roads you conquered, the sun begins to set. Let's actually look at our timeline to see how this immense effort builds across the day. We started at 10 a.m. with that cable car arrival. By 2 p.m., we were riding those 7 escalators through the mountain's core. 5 p.m. marked the isolated Temple of Heaven trek, and finally, wrapping things up in a beautifully illuminated nightscape at 8:30 p.m. That is a staggering 10.5 hours of nonstop multimodal travel, climbing, and walking just to witness this isolated world.
So, we leave you with this final thought. Knowing the extreme physical toll, the strict rules right the threat of drone jail, the dizzying heights of those glass walkways, and the sheer 10.5-hour length of the day, would you do it? Do you actually have the endurance to take on this incredible journey and stand at the edge of heaven? Think about it. Thanks for joining me for this explainer, and as always, keep exploring.